Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a handkerchief wrap dress. Okay, so the upper part is going to be wrapped and the lower part is going to be handkerchief. Okay, so I folded my fabric with my shoulder measurements and the sleeve length inclusive because I want to cut my sleeve together with the upper part of this dress. So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you the measurement that I marked out, as you can see already on the pattern. So from the shoulder line, I marked 8 inches downwards, which is going to serve as my bust line, and from the shoulder line I marked 16 inches downward, which is my waistline, and to that measurement I added 1 inch to join the lower part and the upper part together. Okay, so after that I'm going to mark a quarter of my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7 inches. And on the bust line, I'm going to mark my bust measurement divided by 2. My bust measurement is 34 inches. Divided by 2 is 8.5. So I'm going to mark that on the bust line. After marking that, I'm going to add 1 inch for seam allowance on the bust line as well. So on the waistline, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4. 27 divided by 4 is 6.75. I marked that and I added half an inch for ease because I want the waist part to be a little bit free. And after that, I marked 1 inch for seam allowance. Okay, so I'm going to connect the bust line to the waistline with my straight ruler like so. After doing that, on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark a neck width of 3.5 and a neck depth of 1 inch. Okay, this is the back pattern we are cutting first. So after marking that, I'm going to connect the point I just made. Okay, so I'm going to just curve out the bust line to connect with the waistline measurement like so, because that is where I'm going to cut through. So if you don't want to cut your sleeve together with your top, you are going to cut through this point like so, the way I marked here. So that's how you want to do yours if you don't want to cut together your sleeve together with the top. But for me, see, this is how I'm going to cut mine because the sleeve is attached to the top. Okay, so after cutting it out, this is what I have for the back panel. So I'm going to use this back panel to cut out the first part of the front panel. Remember, the front panel is going to be a wrap, so we are going to be needing 2 pieces. So I folded the back panel into 2 and then I placed it on a fresh fabric and I cut out exactly the same piece like I have for the back panel. So now I have 2 pieces. So I'm going to remove one and I'm going to use one for the wrap. So on the center of this piece, I'm going to go down by 8 inches. Okay, remember that I already marked 1 inch before. That's making 9 inch. So now I marked 8 inches downwards. So this totally depends on you. Okay, so on the other side, I'm going to go up by 3 inches. After doing that, I'm going to take my ruler from the neck width. I'm going to connect to the 8 inches I marked downwards like so. So I'm going to connect to the 8 inches I marked, just the way I'm doing it here. And then I'm going to curve it to the 3 inches I marked upwards on the edge of the front piece like so. So this is what I'm doing, just connecting from neck width to the 8 inches I went down by, and then I'm going to connect it down to the 3 inches I came up by. So that is what I just did. So connect to the 3 inches and I'm going to cut it out. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. This other part, we don't need it anymore. So we are going to take the part that we need. So I was explaining that the inches you go down by depends on how low you want it to be. So if you don't want yours to be too low, you can go down with about 7 inches to 6 inches, okay? So after that, I'm going to place this side on a fresh fabric, and I'm going to make sure that I'm placing it right sides facing. Okay, you have to take note of that. They have to be right sides facing each other. So when I'm sure that I've outlined my pattern on the pieces like this, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Make sure your fabric is right sides facing. If you don't do that, you're going to end up having one side. You're going to end up having either 2 right sides or 2 left sides. So you have to cut it right sides facing each other like so. So after cutting it, this is what I have for the front panel. All right. This is one and this is the other one. So I just place it like so. Like I explained, if you don't want yours to be too low, you can use about 7 inches or 6 inches or 5 inches depending on how you want your overlap to be. So you see mine, I use 8 inches, roughly 9 inches, and this is what I have. So if you don't want that, you can use a smaller inches. If you want more, you can go lower. So what I went ahead to do was to place the back panel on the lower part to show you how it looks. Isn't this looking very beautiful already? It is. I love it. Okay. Alright, so moving on, I'm going to show you how to cut the handkerchief for the lower part of this dress. So right here I have my fabric folded into 2 also. So my fabric has been folded in 2 equal half, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the fabric is equal on every side, and I'm going to fold it again. Okay, that is, I'm going to fold my fabric into 4. I folded into 2 once, and then I folded it into 2 again, making it 4 parts. Okay, so I'm going to start inserting my measurement from the closed side, this pointed closed side. All right, so there's a particular measurement for calculating this radius and circumference. So for this, you are going to take your waist measurement, divide it by 6.28. all right, and whatever you get, you are going to mark. So you're also going to have to add your seam allowances. Okay, my waist measurement is 27 plus 1 is 28, divided by 6.28 is 4.4. I added 1 to, I just rounded that up to make it 4.5. So from that edge, I'm going to mark 4.5 on the corner like so. And I'm going to mark again 4.5. So remember to add your zipper allowance to your waist measurement. Divide your measurement, the measurement you get, by 6.28. Whatever you get is what you mark on this point. Okay, so mine, what I got was 4.5. So I'm going ahead to mark 4.5 on the edge, on the center, and on the corner. After marking that, I just went ahead to connect the points that I marked together like so. Okay, so after doing that, what I'm going to do again is to go up by 1/2 inch, because I'm going to need 1/2 inch to connect this lower part to the upper part. Okay, so I'm marking 1/2 inch upwards, and I'm going to connect that into a semicircle the way I did for the other one. All right, so going to the length you mark for your skirt, I mean the skirt part of your dress, totally depends on you. Okay, so for the long part of my dress, I used 26 inches. Okay, and for the shorter part of this handkerchief dress, I use 18 inches. This totally depends on you, so you have to take your measurement to determine how many inches or how long or short you want your dress to be. So after doing that, I'm going to connect the points from this other point to the other edge using my straight ruler like so. So I'll just place my ruler like this and connect it to the edge. Alright, so sorry guys, I lost some clips where I was connecting and where I cut this thing out. So I'm just going to explain to you what I did. Okay, so I I connected from this point to the other point using my measurement, okay? And then I also connected like so. I'm just going to bring my ruler to go ahead and demonstrate to you what I did, okay? So I placed my ruler, made a straight line like so. I placed it like this again, and then I made another straight line, and then I cut it out. After cutting that, I cut out the radius for my dress, and after that, this is what I have for the handkerchief and the lower part of the dress. So you can see how they are unequal on the lower part. That is what you want to achieve. All right, I hope you have subscribed to my channel already. If you haven't, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications so you get notified each time I upload a new video, and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. My next video is going to be on how to put these pieces together. That is how to sew this handkerchief dress with wrap top. Thank you so much for watching this video. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.